So Star Wars Battlefront 3, it's finally here, 10 years after Battlefront 2. So, what do I think of it? Well, I think it's a great game, it's got some really good content in it, it's got amazing graphics. However, it's only really enjoyable in about 2 hour bursts, so I can't play it for much more than that, otherwise it does get a bit boring. So unlike its predecessor, Battlefront 2, Star Wars Battlefront by EA doesn't offer any single player experiences. The only single player experiences it offers is single player missions, 2 player missions. However, it's really short of a campaign. It's a little bit disappointing. It would have been nice to seen it there, but however, the multiplayer really does make up for this. It's really intense. It's made by DICE, the people who made Battlefield, so you know they're going to do a good job with the multiplayer, and they really do succeed in this field. So Star Wars Battlefront has amazing sound design. It is some of the best Star Wars sounds I've ever seen in a game to date. The blasters sound so authentic, and DICE have gone really crazy with the sounds in this game. The explosions sound so good on a massive surround system, so it's probably one of the best parts of the game. Some of the sound design does let it down a little bit, such as the voice acting by Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker and some of the other characters. It's a shame they couldn't get some of the original cast to star in the game, so that's a little bit disappointing. It does subtract a little bit from it, especially when the lines are a little bit cheesy. It does take you out of the experience a little bit. However, I think all the other sounds do make up for it. It's just those little bits of the voice acting that really let the game down, unfortunately.
We need to stop the Imperials from securing that pod.
And DICE have gone so in detail with the sounds as well. So I'm going to show you a clip of Darth Vader when he's walking, when he's running, and when he's standing still, as his breathing changes. And DICE have gone really crazy on this, such a small detail that many people wouldn't even notice. So Battlefront has some of the best graphics that I've ever seen on the next gen consoles. It runs at 60 frames per second, so it's nice and smooth. It makes the game nice and responsive, fun to play, and it's crazy to think that DICE have achieved this at such a high frame rate. So a lot of things have simply just been scanned straight into the game. This creates an insane amount of detail, and I'm really happy that they've done this. It looks so authentic. So now I'm on the subject of the villains. I do think that Boba Fett is a little bit overpowered in the game. Such as on Walker Assault when someone will spawn as Boba Fett. Such as like ridiculous things such as 66 kill streaks, 92 kill streaks. It's a little bit ridiculous because he's so overpowered because he has such a long range weapon. He has a jetpack, he has rockets, and compared to Lord Palpatine, he's so overpowered. No one ever really uses Lord Palpatine. Everyone normally goes for Boba Fett. It makes the game a little boring because it's a little bit predictable on Walker Assault. So I think that needs to be changed a little bit. Maybe make him a little bit less overpowered. Another thing that affects the game is the tiny amount of guns in the game. There's only 12 guns in total in the entire game, with the last one being Han Solo's blaster, and unfortunately this is another overpowered gun. People just go on insane kill streaks with it when they reach level 25, so it does make it a little less fun for everyone else who's a lower level. I think they do need to add more guns in. I think this 12 guns at launch I don't think is acceptable really. I think it's just too little, and I think they could have done a little bit better on this. Another thing that's disappointing is the character creation. You only get choices of presets, you don't get to make your own character, and it's either woman with short hair, woman with long hair, man with a beard, man with no beard, a helmet. It's just really basic. I don't think there's much point in even putting this in. Maybe you're going to add some more stuff in the season pass, I don't know, but I think this could have been improved as well, or simply just removed as it doesn't serve much purpose. Another thing that's included in the game is actual air fighting, so you can get in a TIE fighter or an X-Wing, and you can do this while people are fighting on the ground. You can support your team in the air. And there are also dedicated maps to air combat. However, this is another thing that needs balancing, unfortunately. The X-Wings are probably the most overpowered ships in the entire game. They just really destroy the TIE fighters, especially when you're against a high level. When you're in a TIE fighter, you don't really stand much chance against an X-Wing. I think this needs to be simply balanced. It just doesn't make it too fun when you've got an X-Wing chasing you, because you pretty much know that you're dead straight away. It does need improving, unfortunately. However, it's only small, so I think DICE will be able to fix this quite easily. So now that I've mentioned the Season Pass, it's time to talk about that. So the Season Pass is priced at £40. This is super expensive. It literally costs the same amount as a game. However, looking at stuff like Battlefield Premium, which also costs £40, same price as the original game, they were supporting it for years after the game release. You've got your own premium events, you've got all the map packs included, so I think in the end it may be worth it. We're just going to have to wait and see. I think hold off on buying it until the actual first expansion comes out, see how much content they're actually going to give us, and then see if you want to take the dive and buy the Season Pass, or you can just buy the DLC as you want, depending on which one that you want. So moving on to what I don't like about the game. So the game does have some balancing issues on the air combat. It is easily fixable, however the game's been out quite a few months now and that's still not been fixed, so it's getting a bit worrying on that front, whether they're going to actually fix it or not. It's got some pretty bad spawns in some places. I think they do need to be improved. You'll have some people spawning in from behind you. It's got a bit of a lack of content, the game, unfortunately, such as Walker Assault only featuring 4 maps as of now before the Season Pass has come out. The Season Pass is a little bit too expensive for most people to buy, just for the content that it's apparently going to provide us. But I do think it's a great game, so I think overall I'm probably going to give the game probably a 8 out of 10. It's got some great gameplay, it's very fun to play, however it's got a little bit of imbalancing issues, it's missing a bit of content as of now. It's clear they cut some of it for the Season Pass so people would buy it, but I think it does deserve the 8 out of 10. I don't think it's as bad as some other reviewers say, however I don't think it lives up to the hype that it had. It's still a great game though, so I would recommend that you purchase it as a cheaper price, but however, thank you for watching this review, and I'll see you soon.